Hey, animal chiropractic friends. This is Dr. Amy with Animal Chiropractic Education Source here to talk about Base Camp Pro, which is coming up in November 13th through 15th. It is, we don't want to say the replacement for the A.C.E.S conference, but the A.C.E.S conference was canceled because of the coronavirus problems that were happening at the venue. And so we jumped in and wanted to make sure that we were able to help animal chiropractors still connect and be part of that community and continue to be confident animal chiropractors. And here today with me is Judy Griffiths, and she is from Standard Process. She is the veterinary support technician, but her job encompasses way more than that. She is the educational person. She is the go-to on cases, and if you've got cases that you think need some kind of nutritional support, I think Standard Process is probably the key place to go because of their long history of consciousness about what they are doing in the world and in the environment. Thanks for joining me, Jody.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about Standard Process for those people who don't use it, for those people who've not heard of it as a supplement? I mean, I think of you guys as the giant in the supplement world because of the quality and the products that you have. But some people don't know who you are. So can you tell us who you are?
Absolutely. So Standard Process is whole food ingredient based company, and so really what that means is the ingredients that are in our supplements are whole foods, and we do use some other ingredients, but really the base of our formulas are going to be those foods, and the philosophy behind our products is that we are providing this wide variety of different nutrients that are still coming from a food base. And so that's one thing that sets us apart from many of the other supplement companies that are out there, is that we are really focusing on the benefits of those nutrients that are coming from foods as they were naturally intended to be eaten, processed in a gentle way so that we're preserving that integrity of those nutrients that are going to be beneficial for the body, to help to provide fuel for the body. And it's cool because the products are formulated in a way that it makes it really easy to pick and choose the different areas of the body that you want to be supporting. So whether it be a particular organ or a particular system, it's pretty simple to pick and choose the different areas of the body that we want to be supporting. And really our mission is that we want to be providing the body with additional nutrition, and we have so many different company values that are focused on product, that are focused on sustainability, focused on the importance of our employees and the practitioners that we work with, all of the quality that goes into our formulas. And so I realize I'm a little biased, but Standard Process truly is a visionary leader in whole food nutrient solutions.
Awesome. And it's kind of been my experience that you guys are a place to go if we have a particular issue that we're dealing with our animals. How does that, but because there are so many different, niches that could come, how does someone know what supplement to use, or how would they know what one to add to their protocols?
Sure. And it's so often our supplements are thought of as the place to go when we're seeing compromise in our animals, when we're starting to show signs of certain conditions. And that certainly is a great opportunity to be incorporating the supplements. But we also want to think and realize that the supplements can be used proactively too. Young animals can certainly benefit from the supplements just as much as the geriatrics. Healthy animals can benefit from the addition of the supplements just as much as the animals that are showing compromise. And it really is taking a step back, looking at the body as a whole, and trying to identify what the root of the issue is, which sometimes is super difficult to do. I mean, sometimes we don't know what the root of the issue is. Sometimes we examine an animal and it looks like we have an idea of what's going on, but sometimes we forget that there could be so many other areas of the body that can be affected and that work so closely together. The body is such an incredible machine that that's really the benefit of the supplements is they're going to provide this variety of different nutrients that can fill in maybe some potential nutritional gaps or proactively stay ahead of some of those nutritional deficiencies from building up over time. So we can certainly think about every single animal that walks through the practice doors could benefit from the addition of the supplements. How to pick and choose? We don't have one size fits all protocols because when you're working with animals and with people, because we have both animal supplements and human supplements as well, every individual is different. Every individual has different requirements. And if we if we had protocols that, for example, we say every single animal that has this condition, these are the supplements that we're going to recommend, there's a chance that they may not respond as well as another animal that has that same similar presentation if we recommend that same set of supplements. And so it's really doing a thorough exam, asking lots of questions to really try to get to the root of what the issue is, and then picking and choosing the different supplements that are going to help to support those different areas of the body. And sometimes, I mean, sometimes we may miss the area that needs the most support initially, but then we just kind of reevaluate along the way and then make changes as we need to, working closely with the pet owners and helping them to understand that this type of approach to supporting an animal is much different than many of the other different approaches that are being used. We're not mandating, we're not forcing a reaction. We're helping to facilitate the body to repair and to rebuild. We're giving it some of that fuel that it might be lacking, or giving it some of that fuel to stay ahead of those nutritional deficiencies that could build up over time. And so it's really just looking at the different options that we have. This is why I'm here. So if you have questions about different products, if you have questions about your cases, you can certainly reach out, and I'd be more than happy to help you kind of troubleshoot and try to navigate through the different supplements that you could be using.
It sounds to me, and it's been my experience, but you tell me if I'm wrong, that because I could be, I'm just a doctor, I just practice. If if an animal starts on a supplement because they have a need for it, is that a lifelong thing they're going to be on, or is that, do we see where that may be a short term event? I have in my practice used it as short term. We're going to use it until we achieve the event that we want, and then we're going to reevaluate and see if they continue or if they can come on, things like that.
Right, right. Great question. And it really, it differs from one animal to the next. The supplements are safe, that they could be given long term. They're food ingredients. Nutrients, when they're still in a food base, occur in much smaller amounts than if we were isolating them out or using synthetic versions. So for that reason, they usually are very safe to be given long term. Some animals need long-term support. Some of them, depending on what it is that we're supporting, depending on what condition is that they have, there could be some that need that long-term support. There might be something that it's a condition that they're going to deal with for the rest of their life. And so then, yes, you could certainly support them long term. But then, yeah, there definitely are patients that they may need the support for a shorter amount of time to help their body get through whatever it is that they're working with. And if we can get them to a point where they don't need to be taking daily supplements, or even our bigger goal would be hopefully that they don't have to be maintained on any pharmaceuticals, then yeah, there certainly is the opportunity that they may not need to continue them after things have resolved.
So speaking of pharmaceuticals, I'm kind of glad you mentioned that. What about drug interactions? Or because, of course, many of our animal chiropractors are chiropractors, not veterinarians. So in many states, in most places, they're not in a position to be able to say, take your animal off this drug, here's a supplement.
Sure.
Is it possible to add a supplement without having a drug interaction problem with those animals?
Definitely. And again, that's kind of the beauty of the standard process supplements is because the ingredients are foods, there really are not any concerns with them interacting with pharmaceuticals. Um, and I should say that there are some practitioners that are using some of the human formulas, some of the standard process human formulas, which there are many practitioners that do. Some of those may have some herb ingredients, or they might be a little bit more targeted to certain areas. So there certainly should always be evaluation every time you're wanting to recommend a supplement with a pharmaceutical. But for the most part, especially with the veterinary formulas, because the veterinary formulas are essentially they're foods, there really are not any pharmaceuticals that they would interact with. And often it's recommended that they're given in combination, because when we're providing the body that additional fuel that could be helping the body to work more efficiently and can help with the repairing and the rebuilding, sometimes that's going to help that pharmaceutical be more effective, or help that there isn't as much of the pharmaceutical needed in order to help that animal to improve.
Cool. And what comes to mind for me, and I don't want to start into a photo protocol, maybe, but we see a lot of animals come to us because they're in pain and they're assumed to be in pain. They usually have musculoskeletal issues, and they're on gabapentin and tramadol and Rimadyl, and nothing is working.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote a whole talk about this for a veterinary conference, which is why I learned it. Now I'm asking the question. A lot of times veterinarians give gabapentin, but it's not meant to act by itself.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I'm hearing you talk, I'm thinking for those animals that are on GABA, if we really wanted it to work, we'd probably want to add a supplement, because GABA really needs vitamin D and zinc and all those things for it to actually happen in the body.
Absolutely. So a product like canine musculoskeletal support would be a product that you could certainly add in combination, because it's going to provide that wide variety of different foods that are going to support the different tissues that make up the musculoskeletal system. So from bones and muscles, ligaments, tendons, but it also has additional support added for some of the other organs and systems that work closely with those tissues, so the liver and the heart. And so that's what makes it a great broad spectrum product that can help to complement some of those pharmaceuticals and provide some of that fuel that's going to help those medications work more efficiently.
Awesome. Especially for these animals that aren't on the best of diets.
Right. That yeah, that that is a whole can of worms to open up, to talk about all of the different diets that are out there. There are so many different opinions out there on what the ideal diet is. Personally, I don't feel the ideal diet exists, especially an ideal diet that's going to be great from one animal to the next, um, because animals have so many different individual requirements. We have no idea what they are. I mean, we don't have this great test that we can just run on everybody to find out exactly what their ideal combination of foods are going to be to give them the best quality of life for their entire life. That it's The supplements can certainly complement really any diet that's out there, whether it be a strictly dry kibble diet, a canned diet. If you're feeding a combination, there are more and more people that are doing home cooked diets. There are people that are choosing to do raw diets. So the supplements can really complement any of them. um, they're not intended to balance anything. And so that's something that we are very clear on, that we don't want you to maybe you have a pet parent that's feeding chicken and rice and they're looking for something that's going to balance the diet. That's not the intention of the supplements. So just be aware of that they're intended to be a complement to an already balanced diet, to add in some of those different nutrients that animals may not be getting on a regular basis, or maybe even getting at all. So I don't go very far down that diet
Yeah, you want to go.
conversation
I was a
because
little hesitant to even say that word,
right, right.
but
But yeah, it really depends on who you're talking to, because
yeah.
some practitioners have very strong thoughts and on their diet recommendations, and then there are some that have very strong thoughts on the opposite end of the spectrum. And so yeah, that's not a topic that it's kind of
Well,
like religion and politics. You kind of stay away from those a little bit.
well, I think, like, I always think of standard process like the middle of the, it's the buffer in between those two in a little bit
Hmm.
of way.
Hmm.
So,
And yes, it could
so,
be. I mean, it
so
certainly can help.
yeah. So tell us about you talk about they're all food based. What level of quality of food are they using in the standard process products? That I think is important.
Yep, absolutely. Quality is huge to us. The quality of our ingredients is huge to us. All of the ingredients that are going to into all of our formulas, whether it be the products on the human side, the standard process core line, or it be the ingredients that are going into the veterinary formulas, they're all human grade. We are not using any ingredients that are any less quality in the veterinary formulas than what we would be using in the human products. Um, the we have a certified organic farm that is about a mile down the road from the manufacturing facility. So a large percentage of our raw plant materials are actually being grown by us on our farm. It's cool because it enables us to control the quality of that ingredient from the time the seed is planted until the time the product is manufactured and going out the door. Our quality control department and quality assurance, they're two departments that are so instrumental in making sure that there isn't contamination in the products, to make sure that that what we're saying is in the bottle is actually in the bottle according to what's on the label. That can be an issue with some supplement companies. But then also making sure that we're following all of our regulatory guidelines. There's a lot of standards that we meet, a lot of different quality standards that we have that are very important to us, not only from the ingredients that we're growing, but then also from the ingredients that we are needing to source from other locations. We can't grow everything in Wisconsin, unfortunately, and so we do need to source ingredients from other vendors, and it's really our quality control departments and all of those scientists that are so important in making sure that the quality continues, that from those to be meeting our standards as well.
Awesome. Very, very cool. So tell me, I know you guys work with animal chiropractors on kind of a regular basis. So
Hmm.
tell me a little bit about how you see them using their supplements more like on a general basis. And is there, we already mentioned the musculoskeletal supplements, and maybe talk a little bit about the equine products a little bit too, because we're
Sure.
kind of focused a little on the smaller.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So there's lots of opportunities. And it depends on, I guess, in what capacity the animal chiropractors are, what you're seeing your patients for, if it's more focused on musculoskeletal, if it's more focused on, if you're giving nutrition guidance. um, Really, they can be used for many different things. Like we said, we can use them for the compromised animals, we can use them for the animals that are healthy and we're just looking for some of that additional support. But we can think about canine musculoskeletal support as an option for supporting animals that are showing issues with pain and potential inflammation. We can think about even the canine and feline whole body support, which is our the most broad spectrum support products that we have in the veterinary formulas, that really any animal can benefit from. Just as some will ask me if we have a daily multivitamin. I don't like to refer to it as a daily multivitamin because it's much more than that. It's not just your typical vitamin and mineral product. There's much more benefit to it than that. But thinking about something like that, we can even think about like an adrenal support, because the adrenals handle so much stress in the body. So if you're working with patients that are in pain, or if they have conditions that are really stressful and just really taxing on their body,
Mhm.
the adrenals can really need some attention as well. So thinking about canine adrenal support would be a product that we can consider. Immune support, enteric support. I mean, there's so many different products that we could be considering. The immune system is so important just for general health. The gut is so important. So the canine and feline enteric support are great supplements to consider if you're having animals that have any kind of digestive issues that can sometimes play a role in other areas of the body. So there's lots of different options on the different supplements that you can pick and choose. How to learn how to use them. There's options. You've got lots of options of how to learn more about the supplements, especially if you're new to standard process. Our website is a wealth of information, www.standardprocess.com. If you go to, there's a tab at the top on the home page that has where it will take you to educational opportunities, and it's broken to, there's a section that's more human focused, and then there's a section that's veterinary focused. And so I mean, you could certainly benefit from both sides. But there's videos, there's recordings of webinars that are there. And so that would be a good place to go. We also have 5 on-demand learning modules that we've created that you can access the registration for them on the website. Each of those focus on a little bit different topic. There's a rehab one in there that might be really helpful. And so that would be a place that you could go. Your field rep, we have 4 field reps that work for standard process that have the country divided kind of into 4 areas. And so if you're looking to get in touch with your field rep to maybe have somebody possibly come in and talk to you and your staff, or I do a lot of virtual lunch and learns to help our field reps out. So that would be something that I would offer, that if you're looking for more of a one-on-one educational opportunity that we could use, that we could do virtually. I do a lot of those, like sometimes 2 a day, 4 or 5 a week.
Oh, wow.
So
Wow, that's a lot.
certainly you could certainly reach out to me, and we can work on setting something like that up too for more one-on-one education.
Awesome. That sounds great. That sounds like really awesome, like customer service that people need, because it's a lot of hand holding sometimes.
And it is sometimes, honestly, it can be a little overwhelming when, especially if you're new to this approach to supporting your patients, and you open the catalog and you see this wide variety of different supplements and you're not quite sure where to start. So that's why I'm here. So yeah, don't be overwhelmed, just reach out. I have a lot of frequent flyers that I have developed some great relationships with, that I'm always happy to help. So don't feel like any question that you have is silly.
So do practitioners, do animal care practitioners, they need to keep a large stock in their clinic? Can they drop ship to clients? What's the best way to do that?
There's lots of options, and it kind of depends on the practice. Some like to keep a large inventory, and that's fine. Some that are more mobile definitely do not want to keep a large inventory, and that's fine. So it really depends on what works for your practice. We have a couple of different options. You can certainly order directly, have it shipped to you, and then your client picks it up from you. We do have a drop ship option. There is a little extra charge for that, but that is an option that you can place the order and then have it drop shipped directly to the pet parent. We also have a program called Patient Direct, and Patient Direct has actually been used a ton, especially during our current situation, where more and more people were home and not going out as much. So Patient Direct is a program that after you have an account with Standard Process, you can sign up for the Patient Direct program. And what that enables you to do is it enables you to give some control to your clients to be able to order supplements directly from us. So you would be
So like
assigned.
a refill kind of. process.
Yes, kind of. So you still have control over what supplements they're able to order. But they have the ability to go to our website under the patient direct area. You have a code that's unique to you, so you give them your code. They enter that code, and then they can order the supplements that you have authorized for them to purchase. And then they're shipped directly to them. Money is exchanged between us and them. And so it kind of takes it off your plate a little bit, but
Sure.
there's still that consultation or that relationship that you have with them that we feel is so important for identifying what the best supplements are for their animals.
That's great. I love that because I think for our veterinarians who are listening, that's a better process than the online prescription stuff that
Hmm.
animal owners tend to do. Hey, write me a
Right,
prescription for this and blah, blah.
right, right. Yep.
So
So
that's
yeah, so it's a great program that more and more veterinarians and animal chiropractors have been utilizing, just because it cuts down on the amount of product that they have to inventory, and it makes it a little bit easier for the owners to be getting their refills. And but they still have to, I mean, they still have to have that conversation just to make sure that they're checking in every once in a while to make sure that there aren't any changes that have happened, or um, that, I mean, that relationship is still an important part of using the supplements too.
sounds to me like that actually empowers the owners a little bit more too, to be able to
Absolutely.
be more in charge of the health of their animal, which I think is important.
Right. And it gives them visibility to the different supplements that are there, because if they if they go to the practice and the veterinarian or the animal chiropractor makes a recommendation, and they don't, maybe there were some things that they didn't think to tell the practitioner about, maybe their animal has been doing, see that there's this long list of supplements, it might spark some conversations between them and their practitioner about some things that they maybe didn't even think to talk about when they were in the office. So I think there's definitely benefit to that as well.
Awesome. That's great. This seems like we could go on forever. I mean, I think there's so much we could talk about. Um, but I think that it's important for animal owners to know that you're there. I think it's important for animal chiropractors to understand that this is the kind of support that you've already done all that clean research. They don't have to pick and choose and go and do quite so much work
Sure.
to
Yep.
find
Absolutely.
things. Awesome.
Mhm.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today, and to, especially for a standard process, to be there to support Base Camp, which is really and truly the replacement conference for animal chiropractors so that they can be a part of a community. And it sounds like standard process is one of those community places that they help to bring, people together with their owners and their animals and all those things too. So
Definitely.
I think that's
Definitely. Thank you for the opportunity to talk. I really enjoyed our conversation today, and for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this virtual base camp, which, yes, it's disappointing that we're not going to be able to see everybody face to face at the conference, but I really appreciate that you guys are taking measures to still get some of this information out to our practitioners. So we really appreciate that as well.
So once again, how can they find you? How can they find standard process? What should they be doing? We are a little unstable, it looks like.
Uh-oh.
Say that one more time. So where can they find you and standard process?
Yep, website is a good place to start. So www.standardprocess.com. If you want to reach out to me directly, if you have questions or cases, or just want to start that conversation, the best place to reach me is probably via email, which is vethelp, so VETHELP @standardprocess.com.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And if you haven't already signed up for Base Camp, do it now. Excuse me. You can do it at animalchiropracticeducation.com. Under courses, you'll find Base Camp. Thanks everybody. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.